Good evening. Because of everything that has been happening in our district, I chose to speak before the board at the last 2 months' open forums. Initially, my 3 goals were first, to recognize the November election as a de facto referendum in which voters opposed the school closures 2-1. Second, to request an official board or administration response to the referendum. And third, to request that discussions be reopened to seek alternatives to the school closures. Tonight, I wish to speak to you about 3 related concerns. The first is good faith community engagement. The second is a new interpretation of that election data. And the second is the high cost to our district of non-transparency. Last month, I called to your attention that my 3 requests fall squarely within the scope of Board Governance Policy 6.0 on community engagement and public participation, which requires the board to ensure effective community engagement, adopt a public participation model, and engage in two-way communication. While I appreciate that some of you have met with me individually, the lack of official response to the election data has surprised and disappointed me, given that the community engagement policy was established for this purpose, and given that these requests reflect the position of the majority of voters. Our district is best served by good faith community engagement. If the board believes its decisions and actions are in the best interests of district students and other stakeholders, then it should not hesitate to hold as many open discussions as necessary to ensure public understanding and buy-in. That doesn't mean that every member of the public would be happy with any outcome, but it does mean that a sound rationale for the decision would be clearly communicated to all stakeholders, everyone's voice would have been heard and considered, and the final decision would be justified with current facts and data. Regarding the election data, although I initially called the election a de facto referendum on the school closures, the more I learn about the controversies within our district, the more I worry that perhaps the election results are actually a larger statement of public sentiment on the overall way certain things have been handled in our district for too long. Closing 3 schools against public outcry during a temporary moment in time when the school board membership is not balanced to reflect the sentiment of the majority of voters, as demonstrated at the ballot box, might be just one aspect of a larger district problem. Finally, I would like to call attention to the best use of our district resources. Greater transparency, including avoiding reappropriation of bond funds and even any appearances of conflict of interest or violations of open meeting laws, etc., would benefit us all and save taxpayer dollars. Too many resources are being spent both pushing for transparency as well as pushing back against transparency. The district website states that enormous amounts of resources are being dedicated to responding to data requests and answering questions it is receiving from the public and the media. This largely could be avoided through good faith community engagement. Legal fees, court costs, and countless hours are being spent on these issues, when wouldn't we all prefer those resources be directed to student learning? So this month, my message continues to be a request for renewed discussions on the school closings, and also, more importantly, a request for good faith transparency, consideration of innovative approaches to both equity and budget problems, fact-based justification for all decisions taken, and sound use of district resources to benefit all students.
Thank you.